In this video, you will learn how to add dynamically into a FlatList new items, like so, and you'll also be able to delete them. You'll also learn how to use Git, how to clone a repo, how to check out a branch, and how to install the software into that folder for React Native to work. The stuff you learn in ComSci 101, like push or change an array dynamically, is not going to work. You need to use useState, and in order to use useState, the arrays need to be immutable, and there's a set of methods you need to use, and I'll show you in this video. To get started, you need a starter code. This is the link of my GitHub and the start project. Once you get there, you need to click on the branches and click on this one. From there, we need to grab the link, so go to code and copy this link. The HTTPS will work. Copy. I'm going to create a new folder. So make dir, I'm going to call it React Demo Tutorial. And then there I'm going to cd into it. And then I want to clone this project, right? So it's going to be git clone and then the code that we had. Run it. So once it did the repo, it made a new folder where the code is. So we need to cd into that folder. So it's going to be cd react native demo. We need to run the install command, which is npm install. We need to start expo, so it's going to be npx expo start. So after running the code, you should see this is the finished one. First, we need to switch the branches. And in order to see all the branches, you need to run git branch -a. And the -a is going to show everything. If you do not use the hyphen, it will not show you the other branches. I'm going to copy this section, which is a CRUD FlatList start. It's the name of the branch we're going to do. So you need to check out the branch. So it's going to be git check out the name of the branch. Hit enter. And we have the starter code ready to go. I'm gonna go into our file that's actually doing the software. So it's index.js. So I'm gonna do vim index.js, and that's our code. This is a starter code. So first, these are the imports. Has a flat list we'll use later. Some alerts. This is for alerts. And this is the data. So it's the 1, 2, 3 that you see down here. This is being thrown into a flat list. So the flat list is all the way down here. So the data is that. And this is the most important part. I went over it in a previous video. And for every item that it has, it makes a text. And it accesses the item title. There's a title, which is just the description of the to-do list. So it would be like to-do 1. And there's an ID, so it'll be 1, 2, 3. Notice that when we do click this, nothing happens. So we need to fix that, number 1. So the issue we have right now is that we want to add data here. So if I were to write something like to do 4, it should append a new object here. So the ID will be 4, and the title will be whatever's here, which is to do 4. And that data is being thrown into the state. So we need to, there's a great article in React Native that's called React Native Update State Arrays. And this is the best article I found on how to add or remove things on the array. So it basically says that when you use useState, you need to make the arrays immutable. That means you cannot use like pop. For our purposes, we can't just add a new item in our data. We have to create a new data where it takes the old one and it appends a new one. And it explains beautifully here. So you can't push on shift. You have to use concatenation. And this is the example that you need to look at in order to know how it works. Basically telling you not to do this. Skip out down. This is important. This is how it adds the old array, into a new one. So for ourselves, this is going to be data, set data, the ID we're going to use, and the name. We don't use the name, it's title, right? For it to do the thing. So let's write that code. When we click on add task, that button down here, where is it? There it is, add task. It's going to run a function, set counter. So that code that we copied, we need to paste it there. I copy and pasted that code. So it's basically calling like, this needs to be the data. And we need to make the data here, make it so it's like reactive and it has a set and survives through composition. So we're going to use the hooks for that. And we're going to write constant. And it's going to be data. Data. Set data. Set data equals useState, of course. And we're going to write the data. So it's all capital letters, right? Data. And basically we want to start a new like array or data here. And it's going to use this one as it starts. And we need to run this anytime we want to change the data, like add something or take away something. We have to use this function. We need to change everything that's referencing the old data into the reactive one. So anytime you see that data all capitalized, change it to lowercase. So we need to change the set function that's being called here. There's no set artist function, so we need to change it to set data. So erase the artist part and put in data. And then we scroll down. There's no artist array. We have the data, which we are working with. Capitalize D, data. And then for the ID, there's no next ID. We need to use a count variable we have up there. Count. And for the name, it's not the name. If you look at the data object that we made, the original one, it's actually title. And here would be the text, which is a reference to the input here. So it's going to be text. Write it. And it should work now. There we go. Now that we were able to add things, we need to delete them. The easiest will be to add a button in the flat list. So let's do that. We need to add the button. So the button's in line 54. It's right here. Let's copy and paste it. And I'm gonna copy and paste it to the flat list where it's rendered, which will be here. And we actually need to put everything in a view. So let's do that first. Big V, and then do the closing tag. I'm gonna put it right here, view, and then we can put our button here on top of the view. I'm gonna put it at the end of this line. There we go. So now we have the button, and lastly, I'm gonna change the color to maybe white or like gray or something, or red. Let's see if that works. There we go. Of course, we need to change the title to remove. There we go. Right. Now we need to add the functionality. So on press needs to be a function. So if we just copy and paste that code, we need to put it like a lambda. So let's delete this first. Paste the code we had. And we don't need that comma at the end. I'm gonna write it so it formats it better. And this needs to be a lambda if we just call the set data function. So let's make it parentheses equals arrow, and it's going to be set data here. Artist will be data with big D, of course. And filter A goes to a ID, it's occurring item, and here will be the item, what's being iterated right now. Let's write it. There we go. So there we go. What we need to do next is add an edit button, and how that will work would be when we click it, turn this text into an edit text like the one on top. We change it, we click that button again, it goes back to normal, and it saves the changes. That will be on the next video. So make sure to stay tuned for that, and see you next time.